And welcome back to the Correspondents on Voice of America. I'm Arcega in Washington. Well, now to the state of U.S. politics. A lot of news this week surrounding the November 8th presidential election. More allegations from several women who claim Republican candidate Donald Trump engaged them in inappropriate behavior, something Trump has vehemently denied. Meanwhile, the Clinton campaign is also facing new scrutiny after yet another release from WikiLeaks of hacked emails written by campaign staffers. Those emails are said to include derisive comments about Catholics and evangelical voters. To bring us up to speed on the steady drip of scandal and salacious revelations and the impact on this presidential race, we are joined in our studio by our political A-team, our national correspondent Jim Malone, and of course, political reporter Katherine Gypson. Welcome, and it's great to see both of you. It's always an interesting discussion. Every week it gets even more interesting. Jim, just when you thought things couldn't get any more interesting, then Trump goes ballistic this week, and he starts attacking not just Hillary Clinton, but Bill Clinton and party leaders. What's up?
It's kind of Donald Trump against the world at this point, a little bit. And that's probably not good news for his presidential hopes. The allegations from several women now, coming on the heels of the salacious videotape where he used vulgar language to describe assaulting or handling women, kind of has fit a pattern or a narrative here that is kind of turning off especially women voters. We're starting to see that in some of the polling data. At the same time, Trump had a very aggressive debate, the second debate on Sunday night, where he really went after Hillary Clinton. His base voters, his key core supporters, did enjoy that. They liked that. So in one sense, he's kind of solidified his base, but he's not showing any signs of being able to reach out beyond the base to voters he'll need to win.
And that could be dangerous for his campaign. Now, of course, Katherine, after the Access Hollywood video, then came all the individual allegations from one woman after another. It's been a steady drip of accusations. I'm wondering, from your take as a political reporter, can the Donald Trump campaign survive this?
I don't see how he can win over undecided and independent female voters after this steady drip, as you said, of revelations. What he needs to do is really break out of that somehow and show that this isn't who he is. And we've reached, we've gone too far at this point after all of the tape, especially being on tape. That was really damaging. But in talking to the 35–40% of Trump supporters that he has, that core base, I've talked to a lot of female Trump supporters who say that this doesn't bother them at all, and that actually they feel that they're strong enough women that they're not bothered by this, quote, locker room talk.
But there are increasingly a small number of these women who actually still defend Trump, and they will always defend Trump no matter what happens. Do you, Jim, let's look at the comparisons between the Hillary Clinton scandal, which is involved in the WikiLeaks emails. How does her problems compare to Donald Trump's?
Well, it continues the issue for Clinton about her trustworthiness, her character. One of the WikiLeaks documents talked about how she said that you have to have both a public and private face as a politician. Well, that plays into this idea that Clinton is not transparent, she's not trustworthy. Fine, so the Trump campaign wants to pursue that attack. But had these allegations from the women not occurred, had the tape not occurred, we'd have a much different battle going on right now. Clinton would be much more on the defensive. But the fact is the nature of the things in the WikiLeaks don't really rise up quite as much to the salacious material that we're seeing Trump having to defend himself. And what Trump does is he keeps talking about this. He's now saying the women have fabricated the story. He wants to sue the New York Times, and that it's all part of a grand conspiracy with the media and Clinton. Well, you're going to keep that going.
Katherine, this can't be a winning strategy, though.
It can be a winning strategy with undecided voters, but it's certainly what it does is solidify that base. This is resonating with them again and again. They love this. They were tweeting all of yesterday during his speech, talking about how it's a conspiracy with the media and the Clinton campaign. Now, we've heard these themes before, but they really came to the forefront after that Donald Trump speech.
Katherine, you've been to Maine, you've been to West Virginia. Next week, you're traveling to Florida. I mean, ostensibly, you're trying to find out what issues people really care about, but it seems like jobs, the economy
yes.
seems to have taken second place to issues involving women's rights.
Well, that's what I'm going down to Florida to find out. I'm really interested to see if this has displaced the discussion that I was hearing before about government entitlements, about how we're losing the values in this country, about how the way of life and that sense of a good job that could allow you to support your family, all of the Trump supporters feel like that's slipping away from them. That's what attracts them to Donald Trump. They feel that he can bring that back. So down in Florida, it'll be really interesting to see how these gender issues play into all of that.
But Jim, this is all of this scandal has resulted in what many of my friends are saying has been the saddest election season they've seen. You've covered various election cycles over the years. Have you ever seen anything like this?
It's pretty icky. This
It's cringe-inducing, is what
it is. And I have to say, if Trump is seen as losing in the final days and weeks here, the potential is it could go even worse, because some of the strategists there see the only way is to take everybody else down with him, especially try to take down the Clinton campaign. I look for another aggressive debate performance in the final debate on Wednesday to try to build off that second debate.
And how does the GOP campaign survive this to both of you?
Well, there'll be a lot of examination afterward, but he's also at war with elites in the GOP.
Yeah.
Any party that's divided on
This is
the
the
eve of
party
the
of
election
family values.
is
I mean, how
probably
do you
gonna-
maintain the moral high ground?
Well, I think Mike Pence is trying to answer those questions.
How effective has Mike Pence been? There has been infighting there as well, right?
That's
I
right.
wish I had more time, but I've been told I'm out of time. So thank you, Jim and Katherine. Always fascinating speaking to you guys. That is our program, but we will be back again next week for another edition of The Correspondents. Meantime, stay up to date with the latest in U.S. politics as well as world news at voanews.com. You can also watch all of our shows there. Just click the Watch tab on the upper right side of our webpage and pick your program. We're also on Facebook and YouTube at VOA The Correspondents. I'm Arcega. For now, so long from Washington. Thank you, guys.